Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well during the break and staying at home safely with your families. I'm aware that some of us won't have stable access to the internet, that we need to take care of ourselves and our family members, and that we surely will be distracted by all the information about the outbreak of coronavirus in the United States and around the globe. Therefore, for the remainder of this semester, instead of having online discussion sessions via Zoom, I would rather upload videos to my YouTube channel so that you can watch and listen to the keynotes presentations anytime you want to. These videos will be about 5 to 10 minutes long, and I believe this gives us more flexibility. On every Monday and Wednesday, you will find new videos about this week's sources and writing skills that you would normally have in our sessions. You will also receive my email regarding weekly assignments. So no need to worry about the wiki assignments though, because these assignments are connected to my presentation videos, and your answers to the questions should be no more than 5 sentences. So it will be like your answer to a ID term question in your midterm exam. And we can also set up an online meeting via Zoom so that we can talk about your experiences at home, the videos and channel, the sources and discussion questions, and also your papers and so forth. Okay, too much about that, and let's get started. In his letter to Bishop Herman of Metz, Pope Gregory VII tries to justify his decision to excommunicate Emperor Henry IV of Germany. When reading the source, I would like you to pay close attention to how the Pope understands the role of the Christian Church in the world by referring quite constantly, I would say, to the Bible, or to use his own words, the Holy Scripture. Moreover, this letter also reveals his view on how um, the relationship between the religious and secular powers should be. When we try to compare this letter to the sources that we have already read in our course, like the Code of Hammurabi and the Martyrdom of Perpetua, we can have a clearer picture of how these two kinds of power have always been intertwined, and how the power of the Christian Church began to override that of the secular rulers since the medieval age. And I believe one of the most important outcomes of this increasing power of the Church is the Crusades. In our source book, we will have two different accounts of the First Crusade, one from a Jewish eyewitness and the other from an Arabic scholar called Ali ibn Athir. These two sources shed light on how different groups of people understand the same crusading movement. I would like you to focus on how Jewish communities were blamed for the death of Jesus Christ. So remember how in our lecture, Professor Symes talked about this false accusation against Jews. And I would also like you to focus on how Jews who suffered a lot from the crusading movements and lost their friends and families, their homes, and even their lives in those countless battles. So I want to know how they understand Crusaders' motives. And from the Arabic account, in addition to how Roger and the Emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire understand the First Crusade, you may also want to pay attention to the fact that Ibn al-Athir's account was written at least 100 years later after the First Crusade. So how this can affect the credibility of his words, and why we should be careful when reading and using this account as a historical source. And at the end of this presentation, I'd like to talk about a somehow overlooked view of the First Crusade. So I think it's true that the Hebrew and Arabic accounts give us non-Eurocentric views on the Crusade, But we should always ask how ordinary people, I mean, not the Pope, not the priests, not nobles, not kings and emperors, but ordinary people in Western Europe, how they understand the movement and why some of them are willing to leave behind their families and homes to join uh, to join the crusading armies. In addition to their religious zeal, we may want to ask what other motives led them to expeditions to Western Asia. Okay, I think that's for this week's discussion. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, and together we fight against the virus.